Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Misha. Thank you guys for joining me yet again for another review. We are back with a brand new review for Love and Marriage Detroit, Season 1, Episode 7. If you are new here, then welcome. I give lighthearted reviews with a little bit of laughter and a little bit of shade and a whole lot of detail. If you're back for a second or third time, then welcome back. Y'all, please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Share with a friend. Hit that notification bell so that you will be updated each and every time I upload a video. Now, child, let's get into it if we gonna get into it. When the episode first opens up, Colby and Christina, they're still fussing, or Colby is still hooping and hollering. She's telling her, you know, what is for her will always be for her. There's room enough for everybody, blah, 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 blah. Christina clearly is pillow talking with Brandon. Nah, Colby, I gotta say this. Brandon is Mitch made, okay? He's Mitch made, and he actually put the bug in Christina's ear, okay? See, let me just preface this whole review by saying this. The men are the catalyst for the mess. The mess is stemming from the men. Okay, I don't want y'all to get confused. And there might be a few unpopular opinions in this review, but I see things a totally different way than everybody else sees them. So let's continue to get into it. Christina had nothing to do with Brandon saying what he said. So Christina was like, well, I didn't say that. He's his own person. He says his own thing. Colby is like, so if this is what he's saying, is this about me asking about his secret artist? Oh, girl, it absolutely is. So Christina was like, you know what? Him saying that is just something that he wanted to do. And for that, I apologize for Brandon. So after all that, Colby realizes that she got a little too amped. Okay, got a little bit too hype. Her voice was raising. She wasn't able to regulate her emotions. She feels like she should have talked it out. And she let it get the best of her. So she tells Christina that, you know, she was wrong. She owns her part and she still has a lot of growing to do. So she apologizes. Now I'm thinking in this moment, okay, Colby, you realized that you did a little bit too much at this sit down, okay? Because you've been waiting to unleash ever since this man said you were a Colby cat. And so now you're unleashing on Christina. Got it. Anywho, Christina is like, well, I mean, this was a great opportunity to set clear boundaries because this was going to come up eventually. Now, my thing is this, as content creators and as influencers and people like that, of course, sometimes you have a conflict of interest and sometimes, you know, egos and things like that get in the way. So you may have to have uncomfortable conversations. But, ma'am, I feel you owe Colby an apology too. Now, y'all might be like, for what? Because she ghosted her. If you're a true friend and I'm your little sister, then you should be able to communicate with me. The same way you picked up that phone and called Russell to communicate with him, you should have been able to communicate with your sister before any of this ever happened. But that's just me. Moving forward. So Christina was like, well, you know, she's a lot younger than me. This is what she said in the confessional. So, I mean, it was just bound to happen. Girl, being younger than you ain't got nothing to do with it. After that, she invites Colby to her shut up and pray brunch. So they hug it out. They show fake love and it's done. In the next scene, Anthony is at the studio and they're taking pictures for his lookbook. LaToya stops by. Anthony is telling her about the Bible study. He was like, it was really great. I love how he got everybody involved. And in my mind, I'm thinking, what Bible study was that? She said, did you cry? You know, I love to see you vulnerable. He said, I'll cry every night if you want me to. Ew. I'm sure you already do. I wouldn't want your little tears dripping all on me while we're getting into it. Boy, if you don't get them tears up. Boy, wipe them tears up. Oh, no, ma'am. I'm confused as to how the Bible study was great. Is it the same Bible study that we saw where he was calling Brandon a little boy and Russell didn't own anything that he did and anything that he said about breaking this man's bones over something as stupid as Colby cat? Is it that Bible study? Okay. So then he tells her about, you know, what went down with Brandon, how they kind of got into it and how he lied in his face about the whole publicist thing. He's like, yeah, I'm confused. You know, maybe it's because they not from Detroit. Maybe it's because, you know, Brandon went to an all boys school in the suburbs. He don't understand the Detroit code. Anthony, hush. You ain't no OG Bobby Johnson. Okay. You giving Charmin tissue soft. If we really want to be real, you do not give American Gangster. Boy, goodbye and good night. You ain't about that life. So he's like, yeah, you know, I'm about protecting my crew. I'm going to protect my crew. So then he goes, yeah, but you know, we patch things up. What is wrong with y'all? What is wrong? All of that. And then you're going to say, but yeah, I mean, we patch things up. So Latoya was like, listen, I don't like all the drama, and I think that's ironic because your husband is the drama. I don't know if you know it or not. When she was like, I don't like all that drama, I'm like, baby, that's ironic because you married to the drama. The call is coming from inside the house. Honey, pick it up. Somebody's on the phone. So she wants to plan a trip for all the couples to a winery so they can all reconnect and rebuild their friendships. Y'all know what? I just had an epiphany. Okay? I had an epiphany as I was watching. I don't like anyone on this cast for real. Normally, I can pick one person that I can kind of resonate with. And I'm like, you know what? I can kind of see, she didn't mean, no. There's absolutely nobody. Nobody. In the next scene, Brandon and Christina, they're going out for a dinner date. Side note, Christina, girl, this confessional look with you and this bob is bomb. Okay? I love this look. It's something different. Y'all not sitting up here dressed in sequins down to the flow. Because one thing I'm going to do and Carlos Kane going to get them people to do is put on a sequins dress and sit up in that confessional. Baby, it was giving regal. Honey, the bob was bouncing and behaving. I said, come on, Christina. You looked good, girl. So anywho, they're trying to, prioritize each other. And she wants him to prioritize his time so they can spend more time together. Because when they first got together, they were together all the time. So she starts telling him how, she's never felt protected, even with his family. So he said, well, that's something that I've never known how to do. Well, I can tell because you can't even protect yourself against Anthony and Russell. So I know you can't protect your wife. But if I were in a marriage and my husband said to me, I've never known how to protect someone, I wouldn't be able to move forward, honey. I just wouldn't. I feel like Brandon has always been coddled and he's never had to, fend for himself or even protect himself because everybody has always done it for him. And Christina is doing that right now. And I feel like that is so unattractive. Now, that's me. That's unattractive to me. She's like, well, I need that pit bull. He gonna say, well, what was I, a poodle? I mean, it's giving Yorkie. I mean, I'm just saying. I'm just saying, honey. So she tells him that he needs to get to know her because she's not the same person from when they met. She was 27. Now she's 40. He said, okay, but do you know me? She said, well, I feel like I know you because, I'm connected to God and I pray to him a lot. And you think I don't know you, but I be talking to God about you. And he knows everybody. And you're God's son. Christina, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. Now, I love G.O.D. as much as the next person. But talking to God about your husband does not mean that you know him. If you did, you would realize that this is the perfect opportunity to ask him about himself. Clearly, he's afraid to talk to you about certain things. There are certain things that he's gone through and that he's incapable of giving you. And this is the moment for you to talk to him about that. Did God tell you about that artist that he was lying about? Did he tell you about that? And all of the lying problem he got? Oh, okay. Moving forward. I don't feel like you should have used that as a scapegoat. Well, yeah, I know you. That's you trying to get an out so you don't have to talk about the real issues. You don't really know your husband. I feel like you're still discovering who you are. I mean, that's just my opinion, allegedly. So she starts telling him, nobody has ever corrected him. He said that's why he works for himself, because the last time he got fired from a job, he said, I never want to have another boss again. She was like, well, you got one now. According to Brandon, Christina bosses her entire family around. She's the tyrant of the family. And I was just sitting here like, that is not cute. Y'all both need correction and self-reflection. She's the head of y'all's household. And in some ways, she's trying to raise him and be his mom and do what his mom didn't do. And Brandon, you are falling almost into this rebellious teenager mode as a grown man. And you're lying and hiding things from your wife. Like, no. You should not be the boss of your husband, Christina. That's not how this works. Eventually, both of you are going to start to resent each other. Now, y'all can say I told you, because I'm just telling you right now. So he was like, yeah, I just really need to work on my childhood issues to be able to be the husband that Christina needs. So as they're talking, he stands up, starts talking all out to everybody. This is my wife. I love my wife. Boy, sit down. Speaking your speech all over this restaurant. Sir, have a seat. It was cringy, but if Christina like it, I love it. Moving forward. In the next scene, Anthony is going to see his friend Lyrique. Nah, y'all. When he said Lyrique, all I could think of is Lyrone. Y'all remember when Sheree was over there with Lyrone on the Housewives of Atlanta? Not Lyrique, y'all. So he's talking to him about possibly being a judge at the showcase. Anthony, where do you work? What do you do? It's giving Tommy Strom. Okay, it's giving you ain't got no job, man. I see you going from place to place toting messages and mess. Okay, that's what I see you doing. So Anthony is telling him that it's going to be at Bravo's Lounge. He's like, yeah, and your other friend Brandon, he's in on it too. Anthony is so messy. He always in some mess. That's something I used to say to my friends in high school when I knew they didn't like a certain somebody. I would be like, girl, they got your friend. You know that's your friend, girl. I saw you talking to her in third period, girl. That's your friend. That is so catty, honey. Then he wonders why people don't fool with him. Sir, it's you. It's you. It's who you are. So apparently Lyrique and Brandon don't like each other because Brandon is competing with him and has secret animosity toward him, even though their studios are down the street from each other and around the corner. Brandon don't want anybody to win according to this show. Now, I don't know if that's just editing or what, but that's what it sounded like to me. So Lyrique was like, I just feel like we never really just vibed. But for Anthony, he gonna do it. Anthony know what he be doing, bringing this man onto this showcase. Why would you do this without meeting with the other men? This is not your showcase. You are just going around tying up loose ends and inserting people here. You have not had one conversation with Brandon about this man. So Lyrique was like, yeah, Brandon, the star studio never popped because he's married to the superstar. He's married to somebody who should be on the Billboard charts. So he lets him hear it. I mean, she does have a beautiful voice, but not him having the song already. I said, sir, what in the world? What in the pre-produced is happening? Yeah, Christina, girl, you can really sing. Like, you sound really, really good. You really do. And the song was catchy, honey. Listen, if Candace Nim can do it, and if Drew can, I know my love will hit different while we switching positions, because you already know. Yeah. If she can do that, and if Candace can drive back, and if Kim Zolciak can be tardy for the party, Christina, we can hear your single. Girl, put it on the iPod. I feel like she can sing. Now, I don't know if y'all feel like she can sing, but I feel like she can sing. So Lyrique was basically saying that he used to work with her back in the day, and that's probably why Brandon doesn't like him, because maybe he thinks him and Christina had something going on, but it was never really like that. It was strictly business. He was like, yeah, I feel like Brandon is missing out on it. Brandon didn't miss out on it. He didn't want her to shine, because then she may not want him. I'm going to say this. I feel like Brandon is very strategic. He knows that she has talent. He knows that she could blow if she really wanted to blow, but he does not want her in the forefront. He wants to keep her down. Those are my opinions. I said what I said, and I ain't changing it. These men got some more than the ladies at this point, honey. On this cast, it's all about the men getting together and gossiping. In the next scene, Kobe and Dr. Latoya are on the way to the Shut Up and Pray brunch, right? So in the confessional, Kobe is like, yeah, I'm just so happy that, Latoya is driving so I can tell her my version of the sit down with Christina so I don't have to have road rage. Girl, please. You folded at the end and accepted that hug, so please be quiet, honey. Get ready to start shutting up before y'all get down to the brunch. So she thanks Latoya for coming, to her surprise party. She's like, yeah, it was no drama. I loved it. So then she brings up her meeting with Christina. Now, the way she was explaining it in the confessional, you would think she was really about to get ready to get into it. But instead of that, she put a bug in Latoya's ear. So she's like, yeah, girl, we made up, basically about the misunderstanding. And she did apologize to Brandon. But for me, it's not good enough because I'm going to need him to apologize to me, and I need Russell to be there. So then she tells Latoya that Christina contacted Russell before she talked to her. Now, I have to say this. This is a correction from last review. I don't halfway be paying attention to this show. I'm going to tell you that right now. Okay? But y'all were right. Russell did, in fact, tell them to communicate with him if they have anything to say to Colby. So y'all were right and I was wrong. It's cool. Like I said, I barely be paying attention, child. So Russell did say to communicate with him. But Christina just wanted to communicate some Miss Child. She said, yeah, he told Russell that Anthony had shared some things about them to the publicist that they work with. Kobe was like, yeah, I don't see Anthony like playing with our name like that and saying that we don't like people. So I was confused. So then LaToya gets upset because Christina is lying on her husband and could have called and talked to her. LaToya feels like, she wants to address her at this brunch and she is not having it. Okay, so I want to point out some things. Okay, these are some things that I observed. Number one, Dr. LaToya, you clearly have chosen a side. Now you can sit in line and say you have not chosen a side, but you have. You have chosen Colby's. I just want to make that very clear because, you're going through these things and you're saying that you're not choosing a side and you're listening to Colby and taking her word for it before you even talk to Christina. So this is before they get to the brunch. I'm just pointing these things out. Number two, Colby, why would you tell her this right before this brunch? It's giving messy. It's giving messy and calculated. And number three, what the hell wrong with y'all? Like, what is wrong with y'all? That should be the title of the show. What's wrong with y'all? # Detroit. Like, what is happening? So, baby, they pull in. LaToya's like, I don't want no issues, okay? I'm not trying to do God and mess. Colby was like, well, it's a shut up and pray brunch, so we should just be praying. No, y'all should all be shutting up. Okay, that's what I gathered. Everybody should get in here and hush. So they get inside. Hey, how you doing? Colby sees Brandon. She doesn't address him because Russell ain't there. Brandon is like, I see Colby. I'm not going to address her because I want to keep all the bones in my body. I would be so turned off if my man was like, I'm afraid of her husband. No, ma'am. I would be completely turned off. Do you hear me? Side note. Okay, because y'all know I notice everything. This new white confessional look on you, LaToya, is everything. I am loving these new confessional looks. Now, Colby, we got to get you out that green. I don't like that green. Them eyebrows too strong. Let them tone your eyebrows down a little bit. Give yourself a long look. You look good in the long hair. And let's switch the dress. I don't know, because the girls are stepping up the confessionals, honey. So we got to get into it. Because, baby, that white was everything. It was everything. So, baby, the brunch is about to start. Both Colby's friend Chelsea and Christina's friend Chelsea, they in the building. They all sitting at the table together. Colby's friend is like, we all good? Because, if not, I'm going to go about you. That's basically what she was saying. And Colby's like, girl, no, we're good. We talked. There's no animosity. I did not come here to start any mess. No, you didn't come there to start no mess, but you started the mess before you got out that car because you told LaToya what Christina said. Girl, so they're all eating. They're at the table. LaToya tells them about the trip to the winery for a weekend, and she invites them. So then a speaker comes up who's a pastor. She was speaking directly to Dr. LaToya, apparently. And I have to say, she definitely was preaching. I got a word if nobody else did. So after hearing her, LaToya is like, can I talk to you over to the side, talking to Christina? Now, LaToya, you the main one talking about you don't like public outbursts and you don't like mess, but you choose this time to confront the situation. This couldn't have waited. You talked all that noise about, you can call me. She can talk to me. Why couldn't you have called her after this brunch and had a sit down? Why would you do this at her event? And girl say, what now? So they go over to the side. LaToya's like, Colby told me about a conversation about Anthony. So Christina said, and what did she say? She said, you know what she said. The way in which I would have walked away. Baby, this is my event. Either tell me why I'm standing here or what was said, or I'm walking the hell away. So Christina was like, so somebody gave me a call. LaToya said, my publicist gave you a call. Oh, okay, LaToya. This is more like it, honey. Call it out. Call it out. So Christina said, yeah, she told me that Anthony said that me and Brandon don't like her and don't want to work with her, and how Russell and Colby don't like her either. So I asked her if she was sure about it, and she said, yeah. Christina, you are a bold-faced lie. You know good and dang on well that Brittany sat in front of you and told you that he did not mention them, but he definitely mentioned you and your little weenie husband. She said that, clear as day. LaToya said, well, I don't think that's true. So then they rolled that beautiful bean footage. She was like, well, we can call B to the carpet. Christina's talking about, you don't have to address me in a snarky way. No, ma'am, you're lying. Okay, we're going to address you because you're lying. You know that she didn't say that. She didn't say anything about Colby and Russell. She made it clear. And it seems like you're throwing Brittany under the bus. Because if I were Brittany, I wouldn't want to work with you just off the strength of watching this and seeing you lie on me. Like, I wouldn't want nothing to do with it. I feel like you're trying to deflect. And she's like, well, she texted me. I didn't go looking for her. She texted me. So LaToya said, well, I mean, we really can't trust anything Brandon says. Girl, we can't trust nothing Brandon says or Anthony. Okay? None of y'all can be trusted. So now these two are going back and forth and back. Christina wants to know what's her issue with her. Colby is over there like, oh my gosh, I've never seen, Dr. LaToya this mad. She getting red. Well, girl, you set it up. You set this whole thing up. Now you sitting back watching. So Christina was like, I mean, don't address me like this at my event. LaToya's like, well, you did it at my event. So Christina is confused as to why LaToya is getting mad over other people's issues. Now I have to say this, two things can be true. She kind of took on Colby's issue because she was mad at her about her wine event. Let's just keep it real. Dr. LaToya, you were too cowardly to actually confront Christina and her husband about messing up your event, and your own damn husband messed it up as well. So you took on Colby's issue because you mad about that. And another thing that can be true is she has the right to address you about her husband. Now that's how I feel about it. I feel like if you lie on me and mine, I'm going to have a problem with that because we work with this publicist. So if the publicist is lying or you're lying, I need to figure out who's lying. Well, maybe that's just me. So Christina was like, I just feel like you've always find something wrong with me. Like there's always a problem. So she brings up the skating rink and LaToya's like, I just said I don't do fake. Christina said, yeah, but you were looking directly at me. So they rolled the tape back. And I don't know if she was looking directly at Christina or not. It didn't look like it to me. I think she was just addressing the whole entire situation. But when I think back on it, clearly the fakeness will be coming from Christina's side. So LaToya, you were talking to Christina. So LaToya was like, I'm very observant. I spent 4 years analyzing human behavior. Well, girl, take some of that observation to the house. Okay, because you need to be analyzing that husband of yours. Because he going all around town starting little fires everywhere. Okay, you need to get him together. I'm just saying, honey, use that degree at the house. So she was like, I just don't feel like your actions fit your words. You claim to be a friend, but you don't call people. Christina said, and what does that have to do with you? Christina, girl, the way in which I would have cussed you out, it has nothing to do with her really. But for me, I can see how you move with one friend, and I feel like, well, you might move that way with me too. So I can see being like, listen, if you move that way with Colby, then, and you claim to be her big sister, then you might move that way with me too. So that's probably what she's feeling. LaToya wanted to continue on with the conversation, and Christina was like, we're not going to continue this at my event. We are not. She's like, no, we are not. And that was the end of the episode, to be continued. So when we come back, of course, Colby probably gonna come over and speak her speech, child. Ain't no telling what she about to say. I'm going to sum it up by saying this. Everybody's wrong. There's a little bit of wrong that everyone is doing. I see every single side, but the common denominator is Anthony and Brandon. And that's just that on that. Y'all comment down below and tell me exactly what you thought about this episode. Please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And as always, stay safe, stay blessed, spread love, not germs. Peace.